you. So we are going to go ahead and find ourselves in a child's pose. So knees to the outside of the mat, big toes to touch. Just bring your tailbone down onto your heels, lengthening through the line of the back, reaching out the fingertips, allowing the belly to soften through the thighs and bringing the forehead down onto the mat. And just taking a moment here to check in with ourselves, how we're feeling, what we're bringing on our mat today, what our energy level is like, and just being of this full acceptance of where we are at right now. Beautiful, and maybe rocking the forehead from side to side, just connecting to that third eye. Giving yourself a little bit of insight and a little bit of vision. And gently lifting the head, bring yourself up into a nice, easy tabletop position. I'm going to start just by sending the right leg back and just pressing that heel away, so pushing the heel towards the back of your mat, really getting in through the back line of the leg into that calf muscle. Breathe in deeply into this stretch. Nice, and release, bring that knee down. Come on to the other side, so taking the left leg to the back of the mat, pressing into the calf there, really sending your energy back. Nice, and then back into your tabletop position. Tuck under your toes, and just nice and easy work your way into your first downward dog. So maybe keeping the knees a little bent at first, bring the belly down onto the thighs, and just giving a little stretch to the shoulders first. So maybe a little bit from side to side here, and then slowly starting to send one heel in and the other heel down towards the mat, giving that a nice little pedal out. Nice, and then taking the right ankle and just taking it across the left knee there, pressing back. So pressing the right knee towards the back of the mat and pressing the left heel down towards the mat. Lengthen through the shoulders, lift the tailbone slightly. Beautiful, and release. Find yourself back in your downward dog. And then come on to the side. So taking your left ankle, pressing it across your right knee. Press the left knee towards the back. Press that right heel down. Beautiful. And release and find yourself back in your downward dog. Give it a little pedal out. And then take a breath in center. So really finding yourself in this pose. Press the palms into the mat. Open up through the shoulder blades, the back line. Lift the tailbone towards the sky. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. And send the heels down. Just one or two breaths here. Beautiful, and then shifting forward, shoulders coming over wrists. Bring your right knee in towards your right wrist as you find yourself in a pigeon pose on this side. So just taking those hips back slightly, lining up or squaring the hips towards the front. Right heel coming towards the left hip there. Taking a moment in your pigeon, maybe coming down onto your forearms if you feel it is possible for you, or staying on your hands, if that's okay. Taking a moment here. Just a couple more breaths. Beautiful, and then walking back up onto your hands. Swing that back leg all the way around, extend it to the end of the mat. Tuck the right foot in towards the left thigh, left toes up towards the ceiling. Make your spine nice and tall. Make a little shift forward here. Hands come through heart center, reach all the way up towards the ceiling with the breath in. And then with the breath out, just sending yourself down, belly down towards the thigh. Hands coming wherever is comfortable for you. So maybe they're just going to come onto the mat here. Maybe you're going to fold down a little bit more. Get a little bit of a stretch out and wiggle, whatever feels like your body needs, just connecting to that. Beautiful. Breath in as you lift the head and walk the hands back. Take a little bend into that left leg. So making your sitting forward onto your sit bones and not rocking back onto your tailbone. Take your hands underneath, just clasp your fingers together and pull the thigh in towards the belly. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears and start to extend the leg. So maybe it's going to stay bent at the stage and you're going to stay right here, or maybe it will start to extend up towards the ceiling as you find your heron pose. Keep pulling the shoulders away from the ears and trying not to round the back and rock back so you're sitting nice and upright. One more breath here. Beautiful. Take a little bend into the leg and send that foot back to the end of the mat as you find yourself back in a downward dog. Give that a nice little pedal out. It already starts to feel good in the body. So we're going to come onto the other side. So bring the left knee to the left wrist. Find yourself in your pigeon on this side. Work your way down. I'm going to take a few breaths here. Nice. Start to lift the head, walk the hands back, swing that back leg all the way around. Find your Janushirasana first, so extend the right foot to the end of the mat, bring the left foot in towards the right thigh. Shift yourself forward on your sit bones, it's really important so you're in the right space. Take your hands through the heart center, send them all the way up towards the ceiling. So you're really finding that length until you start to send yourself down again. So maybe you just end up here. Oh, that's nice and feels good, or maybe you want to fold a little bit more. Beautiful. Breath in as you lift the head and walk the hands back. Take a little bend into that leg again, making sure you're sitting nice and forward on those sit bones. Take the hands underneath, pull the shoulders down away from the ears, make the spine nice and tall. Lift the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Maybe just start right here, and that's far enough, that's okay. We're not in any kind of competition. And then maybe extend that leg up to the top of the mat. Maybe just checking in on your spine there, not rounding, pulling the shoulders down. Just taking a couple of breaths here. Beautiful, and taking a little release into that leg and swinging it all the way back around. Find yourself back in your downward dog. Give it a really nice little pedal out there. And then nice and gently walk your feet towards the top of your space. Find yourself in your halfway lift. Flatten out your back. Maybe bring your hands onto your shins. We'll take a moment here. Nice big breath in. And breath out as you fold a little bit deeper. Maybe your fingertips come to the mat. Maybe your hands come to your ankles. Seeing how you feel, taking a little bit of a bend into one leg, a little bit of a bend into the other. Wriggling through the hips a little bit here. Little swings from side to side, whatever feels comfortable for you. And if you can, maybe you're taking your hands and your palms underneath, maybe starting with a bent leg here if you need to. Palms underneath, toes pressing into the pads, and maybe straighten through the legs. See how you go. Depending whether you're doing this practice in the morning or evening will feel very different. Beautiful, and then take a little bit of release and slowly roll up through your spine. Bring your hands to your heart center. Your moment here. Closing your eyes, feeling the four corners of your feet on your mat. Tuck your tailbone, pull your belly button in towards your spine. And then breathe in as you sweep your hands up towards the ceiling. Palms come to touch. Turn your gaze towards your thumbs and breath out as you bow down to your mat in a forward fold. Beautiful. Breath in as you find yourself in a halfway lift, nice flat back. Breath out as you step back and find yourself in a nice strong plank position. If you need to, bring your knees down onto the mat, otherwise finding yourself in your chaturanga. Breath in through your up dog. Maybe soften a little bit here and maybe swing from side to side. If it feels good. And when you're ready, roll over your toes and find yourself back in your downward dog. We're going to do that one more time. This time we're going to step to the top of our space. We'll find ourselves in our halfway lift. And breath out as we bow to our mat and take a fold. Beautiful. Breath in, this time we're going to sweep it all the way up. Palms to touch, and then breath out as we take it down and bow to our mat. Beautiful. Breath in as we find our halfway lift, and breath out as we step it back or float back, whatever you wish to do. Find yourself in a nice strong plank. Take a moment, shift your weight, find your vinyasa, find your up dog and roll over your toes and find your down dog. Beautiful. Breath in as right leg rises. Breath out as you find knee to nose. Step the foot through between the hands and find yourself in a crescent lunge. So starting to shift the hands up, lift the torso, palms come towards each other on the top of the space. And we're going to just simply step it all the way forward into one-legged mountain and immediately into figure of four. So taking that left ankle across the right knee, coming to sit down, bringing our hands to our heart center. Taking a pause, breath in, breath out. Breath in, start to lift up, take the foot back down to the mat. And breath out as you find yourself in Balasana or Yogi Squat. Nice. You're going to take the hands to the mat, tailbone is going to lift towards the sky. And we're going to step it all the way back. Find yourself back in that plank pose. Beautiful. Find your vinyasa. Up dog, roll over the toes, and find yourself back in your down dog. Beautiful. Breath in, left leg rises. Beautiful. Breath out as you find knee to nose. Step the foot through. Steady yourself at first and start to lift up. Take the palms towards each other. Lift through the ribs, crown of head towards ceiling. And step it all the way forwards. Find your one-legged mountain. Take that right ankle across the left knee as you find your figure of four. Bring your hands to your heart center. Find some steadiness here. Beautiful. Breathe. Breathe in as you lift that leg and set it down to the mat, and you find yourself in your Yogi Squat. Making a little adjustment of the feet if you need to. And here we pause, find some length in the spine, crown of head towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Hands to mat, lift the tailbone towards the sky. Allow yourself to hang here for a moment. So this little, kind of little semi-wide forward fold. Maybe fingers to elbows, maybe hands to floor. Whatever feels good. Find a little bit more length in the hamstrings here. We're really going to get deep into these today, working towards compass pose. So find that length, find that looseness, find the long line through the back. Beautiful. And then we're going to step it back, all the way back to our downward dog. Nice. Breath in as right leg rises. Send the left heel down towards the mat. Find more space. Press the palms in. Flex the toes of the right foot. Beautiful. And then we're going to sweep the leg high and wide. You're going to bring it around the side. See if you can keep it straight. Beautiful. And then step it as far forward as you can go. It's going to be a little bit shorter, and that's fine, because we want to come a little bit shorter. We want to come into pyramid. So we're going to maybe walk our hands back, maybe a little bit of adjustment in that back foot. Back foot can either be at a 60-degree angle or facing forwards as we find ourselves in our pyramid pose. So maybe your pyramid is a little tight and you just want to put your hands onto your shin, or maybe your hands can go onto the floor. Find a nice flat back. And then I want you, if you are capable of, take a little bend into the back leg. Take your hands around the back, clasp your fingers together, and then straighten through that back leg and pull the chin down towards the shin. Another breath here. Beautiful. And release. Take your hands to the mat. Nice, and step it back. Find your downward dog. That feels good. Breath in as left leg rises. Send the right heel down towards the mat. Press the palms into the mat. Take a moment here. Flex the toes of the left foot. Really extend. And then see if you can start to sweep that leg around. I'm probably going to hit the wall. See if you can sweep it all the way around. And straight leg all the way to the front of your mat. It's not going to quite reach your hands, or if you do, well done. Take that little adjustment. Find your pyramid pose, toes either slightly turned out or facing towards the front. Maybe the hands are on the shin, that's okay. Maybe they're on the floor. Find your center, find your balance. Take a little bend into the back leg, take the hands around if you are able. Start to straighten the leg and pull the chin down towards the shin. Beautiful. And release and send it back to your downward dog. Give it a little pedal out. Hopefully the hamstrings are really starting to feel like they are firing up right now. Beautiful. Breath in, right leg rises. Press that left heel down towards the mat. Flex the toes of the right foot. Find that length. Beautiful. Bring it round. So keep flexing the toes. See if you can sweep the leg around. Beautiful. And then take a little bend, do it a step all the way through between our hands. Beautiful. So now we're going to find ourselves up in a warrior two position. So sending the left hand towards the back of the mat, right hand towards the front of the room. Beautiful. Take a moment here. So pause on your warrior two. Soften your shoulders, sink into your hips. Breath in as you straighten through your front leg. And breath out as you extend your body forward. And find yourself in your Trikonasana. So right hand coming down towards that right ankle. I'm going to turn around so you can all see. So right hand is going to come down towards the ankle. Left hand going up to the sky. Maybe the hand can come down onto the floor. And if it feels good and you think you can reach out, I want you to flex the toes of the right foot. Pull the toes up towards the ceiling and take this left hand and reach across and take hold of the toes, and then you're going to twist around, pull on the foot, pull on the toes, and see if you can take that left shoulder up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Take a release. Release the toes back down to the mat and swivel yourself through center as you come into a wide forward fold. So toes are pointing forward. Energy is nicely spread around all four corners of the mat. Sorry, of the feet, not of the mat. And then you're just going to gently lower yourself down. So wherever feels good to you. Maybe you're in quite an upright position. Maybe your head is touching the mat. Maybe your forearms want to come down. No right or wrong way to do this, just wriggle into it a little bit, see how it feels. Maybe even bending into one side, coming back through center, bending into the other side. Be doing that a few times, see how that feels. Beautiful, then come back through center. Take the left hand into the middle here onto the floor, beautiful flat back, and sweep the right hand up towards the ceiling. Nice, sweep the right hand down, let's swap it over, left hand comes up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Sweep it back down and then rotate towards the front of the mat and come into a revolve lunge. So left hand comes down, right hand reaches up towards the sky. You bring the right hand back down onto the mat. Bring the left knee down onto the mat and come into your half hands, untucking the toes, pulling the toes of the right foot up towards the ceiling. Finding yourself in your half Hanuman, wherever that is. So maybe you're still quite upright, maybe you're folding forwards. Nice, lift the head. And from here we're going to sweep into Skandasana. So you're going to take your left hand onto the mat, take the right toes onto the mat and straight into Skandasana on this side. So right heel is reaching down for the ground. It doesn't matter if it cannot go there. Left toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. Maybe you are quite upright. Maybe you want to bring your forearms down onto the mat here and take a moment in the center. Just get a really nice stretch into this hamstring. And then gently lowering yourself down onto your mat if you're able to without your hands. That would be super. That would be great. We're going to keep our hips nice and open here. Take our left hand over onto our right ankle and take our right hand up by the side. So just finding this position first. Options to stay here if you're feeling a little tight. That's okay. Otherwise, starting to bring the left shoulder down to the inside of the left knee. Reach the right hand over. Maybe you can just reach a little bit. Maybe you can reach your toes and grab hold of the outside of the foot. Keep pressing this right knee away. Turning the right shoulder up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. And then start to lift up. Bring the right knee down onto the mat. Kind of lining up with the left. Make a little bit of space here if you have to. You can always turn the knee and take it slightly out towards the side if you're feeling very tight. Make sure you're nice on your sit bones and breath in as you take your hands up towards the ceiling and breath out as you come into this half hero fold. Beautiful. Breath in as you lift the head and walk the hands back. And then I want you to swing this foot around and take hold of the outside of the foot and just bring it in. And maybe if you can even take it into the little nook there in your elbow and give this knee a nice little shake here and cradle it like a baby. So some little bit of love into our hips. Options to stay right there. If you want to come into compass pose, you want to take your left hand and wrap it around the outside of your right foot. Then you want to take your knee back past your shoulder. This is really important, otherwise we can't get this hand underneath. Take your right hand and place it underneath and down onto the floor. You want to be fairly even on your sit bones at this stage. So we start here, maybe this is as far as you go, and that is perfectly okay. Or maybe you can start to straighten this right leg and tucking the head through the space. Beautiful. Beautiful. And take a release. Nice. Push yourself back through your skandasana, so taking the foot back down onto the mat. Nice gentle little push up as you find yourself in skandasana, and then back into your wide forward fold. Nice little pause in center, and then make your way back to your downward dog. Beautiful. Breath in. Let's take our left leg into the air, send that right heel down towards the mat. Flex the toes of the left foot. See how high you can send it. Really get a nice stretch into the hamstring on the right leg, and see if you can bring that leg around again. Hit the wall every time. Bring the knee in and then step it through between the hands. And immediately send yourself up into that warrior two. Soften into the shoulders. Sink into your hips. This is a beautiful centering pose. Breath in as you straighten through the front leg. Exhale as you extend your body forward. And find yourself in your trikonasana. Maybe the hand comes down to the ankle, maybe it comes to the floor. Right hand is up towards the ceiling. And if it feels good, and only if it feels good. And our practice is always about what feels good. Start to flex those toes of the left foot and bring the toes up towards the ceiling. Maybe bringing that right hand over and seeing if you can take hold of the foot. Maybe shifting underneath. Beautiful. And then taking a release and swimming yourself around to your wide forward fold. You're back in your safe space in the center. And again, maybe we're just going to work into each of the hips, so sinking down into one side, see how it feels, moving across to the other side. And again, back. Nice, and then back to the other side. Beautiful, work your way back through center. So I'm taking the fingers and wrapping those two fingers under the big toe here. Lengthen through your spine. Line up your hips and ankles, and then breath out as you send your elbows out and just pull the head towards the mat. Beautiful. Breath in as you lift the head. Take the right hand into center, take the left hand into the air. And swap them over, left hand comes down, right hand goes into the air. Beautiful, right hand sweep back down. You come towards the top of your mat, find yourself in a revolve lunge. Your right hand is down, left hand rises. Sweep the left hand down, bring the right knee down onto the mat as you find yourself in your half Hanuman. So pulling the left toes up towards the ceiling. Maybe you stay quite on your fingertips, maybe your palms comes down, maybe your chin comes down towards your shin. Beautiful. And then sending your energy into a skandasana. So now the right leg is extending, pulling through the right toes. Find yourself in your skandasana. What does that look and feel like for you today? And maybe it's on your forearms, maybe it's on your hands, maybe this heel wants to go down, maybe this heel doesn't want to go down. It is all acceptable. Maybe lowering yourself down onto your mat, no hands. And again, we find this leg extended. This one is by the side here. Line it up as much as you can. Take the hand, left hand goes by your side. Options to stay right here. Just flexing the toes of that extended leg. That is enough if your body is feeling super tight. And only if it feels good, taking the right shoulder down to the inside of the right knee and taking the left hand over. Maybe it just comes to here, maybe it reaches the foot. If it reaches the foot, turning the left shoulder up towards the ceiling. One more breath here. Beautiful, and then start to lift yourself up, back up, turn around, and you bring the left knee down towards the right there. So exactly the same. The closer the knees are, the more difficult. So maybe make a little bit of space if you need to. Make sure you're sitting nice and squarely on your mat. Take your hands to your heart center. Reach up towards the ceiling first with a breath in, and then with a breath out, come into the fold. Beautiful breath in as you lift the head and walk the hands back. Lift that left knee and then bring that left foot around. Take hold of the outside of the foot and start to hug it in towards the chest. So maybe taking it into the little crease in the arm and giving this hip a little bit of love. Options to stay right there, or if it feels like it's available to you, take that right hand and wrap it around the outside of the left foot. Pull the knee back. So maybe all this is you're going to do today is just do this, and you're going to take that left hand underneath and just see if you can get that left knee over that left shoulder. Maybe you want to just stay right there, or maybe you want to see if you can start to extend this leg. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Beautiful. And then take the release, unravel that arm, take the foot back down onto the mat, shift yourself through Skandasana and back into your wide forward fold. Beautiful. Just lift through and send yourself back into your downward dog. Give it a little pedal out. Nice and easy, walk your feet towards the top of your space. Take a little cross into your ankles and come to sit on your mat. So I'm just going to turn to face you, but on your mat you then want to take your legs out a little bit to the sides here. So we're going to make a little bit of a shift forward. So we're right forward on our sit bones. Start just by flexing the toes up towards the ceiling, making your space nice and tall, maybe taking your hands behind your back and just pushing your belly forwards. We're starting to open up. Maybe the spaces are still a little bit tight. And if that feels good, bring your hands around in front. Maybe just leaning slightly forward to see how you feel. If that still feels good, maybe coming down onto your forearms. If that still feels good, maybe you want to fold down a little bit more. Just see how you go, see what your body needs. Breathe into this. Breath in as you lift the head, walk the hands back. I want you to turn around towards your left knee, so you're facing the left knee, hands are either side. And then breath out as you just gently walk yourself down on this side. Breath in as you walk up through center, turn around towards the right. And breath out as you just gently walk your hands down on this side. Beautiful. Breath in as you lift the head, come back through center. And again, walk the hands down here and see how this feels now. Maybe there's a little bit more space. Maybe it feels a little bit more comfortable. This is lovely for a lower back that is feeling a little tight. If you've been sitting too much, this feels really nice. Take one more big breath in here. Nice release out. Inhale as you lift the head, walk the hands back. Take your hands underneath your knees. Just gentle release there. Beautiful. And bring yourself to lie down on your back. Bring your knees in towards the chest and give yourself a really nice hug. Beautiful. Take your feet down onto the mat. Take your hands either side. And let's just release out those hips and hamstrings with a little bit of work. So just some gentle windscreen wipers, dropping your knees down to one side, coming back through center and then dropping them down to the other side. Just to feel those as you roll from side to side. Beautiful. Then extending your feet down to the ends of the mat as you sit yourself up for a moment or two of Shavasana. Hands can stay out by the sides or come down next to your body, palms facing up as you just drop into your heart space, into a moment of connection and gratitude. Allow your shoulders to soften and the muscles of your face to be easy. Toes to drop out and the heels to drop in. And just as we did at the beginning of class, where we checked in to see how we were feeling, we do the same now. We practice acceptance of where we are at, in a state of allowing. Take as long as you need here in your Shavasana. Allow yourself a moment of gratitude, a moment of relaxation. Give yourself some space to be. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.